My marriage to Jenny had entered its 8th year. If you'd asked me a year ago whether I was happy, I would have answered without hesitation, yes. Jenny was the perfect wife, smart, beautiful, and always knew how to take care of our home. But the cracks didn't start with a loud explosion. They began with a brand new pair of Nike running shoes. Carly and I decided to sign up for the city marathon at the end of this year, Jenny said as she tied her laces, her face glowing under the living room lights. We need to train seriously. I fully supported her. Carly was her best friend, a married woman herself, very proper and respectable. From that point on, Jenny's schedule changed. 3 times a week at either 7 p.m. or 5 a.m., she would slip into tight workout gear, put on her headphones, and leave the house. The first seed of doubt sprouted on a Tuesday evening in October. Jenny came home after a 2-hour run. She went straight into the bathroom, humming a cheerful tune. As she passed by me, I noticed something strange. Her workout clothes were perfectly smooth. Her face wasn't flushed from intense exercise, and most importantly, when I accidentally touched her arm, it was completely dry. "How was the run today?" I asked, my eyes still glued to my laptop screen, but my heart suddenly beating a little faster. "Exhausting," she said. "We ran along the river. The wind was really strong, so it took a lot out of us." Her tone was so natural, it was flawless. I stayed silent. The river path was 5 kilometers from our house. Running there and back in 2 hours, plus actual training, any normal person would be drenched in sweat. So why was my wife clean, dry, and lightly scented with perfume, like she'd just stepped out of a shopping mall? That night, I lay awake beside Jenny. Her steady breathing felt unfamiliar. I grabbed my phone, opened Reddit, and typed into the search bar of our relationship advice. My wife goes to work out but doesn't sweat. Am I being too sensitive? Within an hour, hundreds of comments poured in. "Check her location ASAP, bro." That's a blazing red flag. Don't listen to what she says. Look at the workout clothes. A cold shock ran down my spine. I didn't want to believe it. I loved Jenny, but the cold logic of strangers on the internet began to gnaw at my mind. I decided I had to do something I once despised. I was going to become a detective in my own home. The next morning, I pretended to go to work late. When Jenny went into the kitchen to make coffee, she left her phone on the vanity. I knew the passcode. It was our wedding date. A painfully bitter irony. I didn't go straight to her messages. I knew she was careful. Instead, I opened battery usage. You know, phones don't lie. If she was using GPS to run, like with Strava, it would drain a noticeable amount of battery. The result? The app that used the most battery during last night's run wasn't a fitness app. It was Snapchat. Snapchat, the paradise of self-destructing messages. Why would someone running need to use Snapchat constantly for 2 hours? I kept going, checking significant locations in the system settings. My heart nearly stopped when I saw an unfamiliar address appear 3 times in the past week. A luxury apartment complex on the west side of the city, nearly 10 kilometers away from her supposed riverside running route. Just then, Jenny's footsteps echoed down the hallway. I quickly put the phone back where it was, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst out of my chest. "You're not at work yet?" Jenny stood in the doorway, her smile still gentle, but to me now, that smile was full of dark secrets. "I'm heading out now. Have a great day," I said, kissing her on the forehead, a hollow kiss, soaked in doubt. Sitting in my car, I didn't start the engine right away. I picked up my phone, reopened my Reddit post from the night before, and typed my first update. Update number 1. I just checked her phone. There are unfamiliar locations. I think I'm about to fall apart. What should I do next? Below it, a user named LawyerUp2024 commented, "Don't confront her yet. If you do, she'll destroy evidence and turn you into the paranoid one. You need undeniable proof. Buy a tiny GPS tracker and attach it under her car. And remember, check Carly too." Carly. The best friend, the woman who always appeared in Jenny's post-workout photos. If Jenny was cheating on me, then Carly, the wife of Mike, my best friend, was part of this too. An alliance of unfaithful women. The thought made my skin crawl. I picked up my phone and called Mike. "Hey Mike, how about dinner this weekend with Jenny and Carly? It's been a while since we all got together." I needed to see the two of them together. I needed to watch their glances, the way they synchronized their lies. The hunt started here. Saturday night, we met Mike and Carly at an upscale steakhouse. From the outside, we looked like the perfect picture of two happy middle-class families. But under that table was a web of lies. Throughout the meal, I played the role of the careless but cheerful husband. I watched Carly closely. She was the complete opposite of Jenny. If Jenny was reserved, Carly was the one who dominated the conversation. "Oh, Mike, you have no idea how hard we've been pushing ourselves," Carly laughed, taking a sip of red wine. "Last Tuesday, when we hit miles 4, Jenny almost quit. I had to practically drag her along." Jenny smiled and nodded in agreement. "That's true. If it weren't for Carly, I'd have ended up in a bakery along the way." My stomach twisted. Last Tuesday? That was the exact day Jenny's phone GPS showed her staying at the West Side apartment complex for 2 full hours. Their coordination was terrifying. They weren't just lying to Mike and me. They were enjoying it like a twisted team sport. "I could never have that kind of willpower," I muttered. "And I still don't get how you both have the energy for that." Mike chuckled. "They're not even human," he said, turning to Carly. "You're phenomenal, Catherine," Mike said. "You never stop amazing me." I looked at Mike, my best friend since college, a kind man who trusted his wife completely. A wave of sorrow washed over me. Should I tell him, or would I drag him down into the abyss with me? That night, after we got home, I posted another update on Reddit. Update number 2. I just had dinner with them. The acting was so convincing it made me sick. They talked about Tuesday's workout as if it actually happened. I've ordered a dash cam and 2 ultra-small GPS trackers from Amazon. They'll arrive Monday. I feel like a criminal in my own house, but I need the truth. The following Wednesday, Jenny said she had to make up a training session because rain was coming. I had secretly attached the GPS tracker under the passenger seat of the SUV Jenny usually drove. I'd also installed a hidden recording app on the old iPad we kept in the living room and synced it to my phone. 7:20 p.m., Jenny left the house. 7:25 p.m., I opened the tracking app. The red dot moved. It didn't head toward the park or the river. It turned the opposite direction, straight toward the luxury apartment complex I'd seen before. Then, the red dot stopped. Completely. I sat in the darkness of my home office, cold sweat soaking through my shirt. At the same time, a notification popped up from the iPad. Jenny was making a Bluetooth call from her car before getting out. I hit play. "Carly, I'm here. My idiot husband still believes everything. He even said I look better lately." Jenny giggled, a flirtatious laugh I had never heard in our 8 years of marriage. "I'm on my way too. Mike's busy watching football. I swear, those two are unbelievably clueless. Remember to take some sweaty workout pics of us later so I can post them on Instagram as proof," Carly's voice replied through the car speakers. "Okay, see you in room 402. He is waiting." The call ended. My world collapsed. He? Not they? So were these 2 women sharing the same man? Or did each of them have a lover at the same location? Rage erupted like a tsunami. I wanted to grab my keys, drive straight there, kick in the door to room 402, and scream in her face. But the advice from Reddit echoed in my head. Don't explode without photos. Betrayal needs visual proof so the court can't dismiss it. I took a deep breath, my hands shaking as I opened the website of a private investigator service. "I need someone to take photos at this address, right now," I typed. 2 days later, I received an email from the investigator. The subject line was short, J&C file. I opened it in a nearly empty cafe. There were 24 photos. Photo 1, Jenny and Carly entering the apartment lobby, holding hands and laughing. Photo 2, a tall, blonde man in gym clothes stepping out to greet them, his arms wrapped around both of their waists. Photo 3, the one that made me want to vomit, Jenny kissing the man right in front of the elevator while Carly stood beside them, smiling as she tapped on her phone. The investigator's note read, "The male subject is a personal trainer at a downtown fitness center. It appears the 2 women share the same lover. They rent this apartment by the hour, 3 times a week." I turned off the screen. I didn't cry. The pain had gone beyond tears and turned into something terrifyingly cold. I looked at our framed marriage certificate hanging proudly in the living room. I realized the woman in that photo was not my wife. She was a stranger wearing her face. I opened Reddit and typed, "Update number 3. I have the photos. It's worse than I imagined. She didn't just cheat, she turned our marriage into a cheap joke with her best friend. Tomorrow I'm meeting a lawyer, and tomorrow night will be our last dinner." I spent all Sunday meeting with attorney Henderson. He studied the photos and listened to the recording with a neutral expression, the look of a man who had witnessed too many broken lives. He asked, "What do you want, Nathan?" I replied, "I want her to leave with nothing, and I want Mike to know the truth." My voice so cold it surprised even me. The strategy was set. I wouldn't file for divorce immediately. I needed a public explosion, one that gave Jenny and Carly no chance to rewrite the story or play the victims. Under state law, proof of adultery would be a powerful weapon in the division of assets. I went home and found Jenny wearing a face mask, watching a reality show on Netflix. She looked so peaceful. "Hey, honey, want to go over to Mike and Carly's place tomorrow night? Carly says she made a new beef stew she wants us to try," she said, without taking her eyes off the screen. "Sure," I replied, forcing a smile. "I have a surprise gift for everyone, too." That night, I stayed up editing a short video. No background music, just the investigators' photos and the audio recording from the SUV. I saved it onto a red USB drive. We were approaching the most dramatic chapters, where the truth was no longer a dull, aching wound, but a carefully calculated weapon. I spent all of Sunday meeting with attorney Henderson. He studied the stack of photos and listened to the recording with a completely neutral expression, the expression of someone who had seen far too much destruction. "What do you want, Nathan?" he asked. "I want her to leave with nothing, and I want Mike to know the truth," I replied, my voice so cold it startled even me. The strategy was laid out. I would not file for divorce immediately. I needed a public explosion, one that gave Jenny and Carly no chance to rewrite the narrative or play the victims. Under our state law, proof of adultery would be enormous leverage in the division of assets. I went home and found Jenny wearing a face mask, watching a reality show on Netflix. She looked peaceful. "Hey, honey, want to go over to Mike and Carly's place tomorrow night? Carly says she made a new beef stew she wants us to try," she said, without taking her eyes off the screen. "Sure," I replied, forcing a fake smile. "I have a surprise gift for everyone, too." That night, I stayed up until morning editing a short video. There was no background music, only the investigators' photos and the audio recording from the SUV. I saved it onto a red USB drive. Monday, 7 p.m. Mike and Carly's house was filled with the smell of wine and food. Mike, as always, enthusiastically uncorked an expensive bottle. "To our friendship, and to our 2 hard-working wives who are about to become marathon runners," Mike raised his glass. I looked at Jenny. She clinked glasses with Mike, her eyes flicking toward Carly with a loaded glance. I took a sip of wine and felt nothing but bitterness burn down my throat. "Before we eat, there's something I want everyone to see," I said, standing up and walking toward the large smart TV in the living room. "What is it, honey? A memory slideshow?" Jenny asked, her voice slightly tense but still trying to sound casual. "Something like that. A short documentary about the training efforts of you two." I plugged in the USB. The screen lit up. 0 seconds. Jenny and Carly standing at the apartment lobby entrance. The room went silent. Carly's wine glass trembled in her hand. 10 seconds. The audio played. "I swear, those two are unbelievably clueless. He is waiting." Mike froze. He stared at the screen, unable to process what he was seeing. Jenny shot to her feet, her face drained of all color. "Nathan, what the hell are you doing? Turn it off right now," she screamed, lunging toward the TV. I blocked her with a firm arm. "Sit down. Let Mike watch his wife's running routine till the end." 30 seconds. The elevator photos appeared. Sharp, undeniable. The blonde personal trainer holding both women in a way that could never be mistaken for friendship. "What is this, Carly? What is this?" Mike roared. He hurled his wine glass to the floor. The sound of shattering glass echoed like the collapse of their marriage. Carly broke down, sobbing uncontrollably, dropping to her knees at Mike's feet. Jenny didn't cry. She stared at me with pure hatred. "You followed me? You're a sick pervert, Nathan. You violated my privacy," she screamed, trying to cover her humiliation with outrage. I may be a pervert in your eyes, I said, calmly pulling an envelope from my pocket, but you're the one who's going to sign these divorce papers right now, or this entire video goes to your parents and your company's board first thing tomorrow morning. That night, I kicked Jenny out of the house with only one suitcase, the same one she used for her gym clothes. I sat alone in the silent living room and opened Reddit. My post had more than 50,000 upvotes and thousands of comments. Final update. It's over. I exposed everything. Mike kicked Carly out and is staying at my place. We're finishing the last bottle of wine together. Thank you all for walking with me through the darkest days of my life. Never ignore your instincts, even when they tell you the sweat is fake. I turned off my phone. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. No more mysterious runs, no more Snapchat lies, no more red dots moving across a map. Just me, loneliness, and a painful but clean new beginning. After that night, I thought I had won. I thought throwing Jenny out with a single suitcase was the end of the tragedy. I was wrong. The past 3 days have been the most psychologically torturous period of my life. Jenny kept coming back late at night. She no longer had the arrogance or hatred from that evening. She sat on the floor, sobbing until her voice went hoarse. She said Carly had dragged her into it, that it was just a moment of curiosity, that the guy meant nothing. She begged me for one last chance to fix things, to go back to the way we were 8 years ago. Everyone, I'm wavering. When I see the broken, exhausted woman I once loved more than my own life, my heart tightens. I start asking myself, was I too cruel? Should 8 years of happiness be erased over a few months of mistakes? I remember her warmth, our breakfast together, the way we used to plan our future. I still love this family. I don't want it to disappear like a soap bubble. But then I look at the red USB drive on the table. I remember her laughing, calling me clueless. I remember the image of her smiling in another man's arms while I was at home worrying about her. I'm standing between two cliffs. On one side is forgiveness, the desire to gather the shattered pieces and glue back together a vase that's already broken. On the other is self-respect, reminding me that if I forgive her, I'll live the rest of my life in suspicion. Every time she's gone more than 15 minutes, my chest will tighten. Every time she picks up her phone, I'll lose my mind. What should I do? Has anyone ever truly forgiven betrayal and found real happiness again? Or am I just a fool wanting to crawl back into a cage of lies? And from me, the editor of this story, here's what I see. You don't love the woman kneeling outside your door. You love the version of her from the past, the woman who effectively died the moment she stepped into apartment 402. She's not sorry because she hurt you. She's sorry because she got caught. If you forgive her now, you're teaching her this. You can betray me, and as long as you cry hard enough, I'll let it go. That's not love. That's bargaining with pain.